Hey, hello. We have a live show October 25th in LA at the Terragram Ballroom at 7 p.m. All ages are welcome, though, our humor, judge accordingly. But still, want to let you guys know tickets are going fast. We're almost out of VIP tickets, and we have some general admission tickets still going at Chilluminatipod.com. You can go click that poster and go buy your tickets. Again, October 25th. Take the day off. We're going to have a Halloween sort of themed live show. It's going to be super fun. And I promise you the opener of this thing is going to be killer. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Enjoy the Minisode compilation. Chilluminatipod.com, October 25th. Let's go. Chilluminauts, and welcome to Minisode 71.
We're approaching 100, only about 29 episodes away.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
And I got some fun things for you today, boys. I hope you got some good stuff.
I couldn't be more excited. I love recycling. And what I've got is some leftover trash from the VIP experience of our live show that I did not get to.
Leftover trash.
Curated Reddit spooky goodness that I did not get to share with the audience because I don't know how to leave time for an hour of talking in a live segment. So I brought two stories that I sourced from Reddit that I did not use, and I will read them here for you all now.
All right.
Because I think that would be fun.
All right, I'm ready for it.
But is that how we start? Shall I do it?
Is that how you want to start? I can start if you want me to do something quicker. It depends on how you feel.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what's going on in current events.
Yeah, I got you. So last week, I brought you guys scientific proof of a balloon, Jaques Skellington, floating through the air.
I'm so fucked up by the Jaques Skellington balloon. I'm not over it.
Yeah, that's still messing with me.
Fear not, though. Another flying human has been seen.
He looks like a Mega Man boss from the 1930s. He looks fucked up.
He really does. This time, though, we're not in LA. This flying man has been seen in Glasgow, Scotland. I'm going to send you a video of this flying man while I read the article here. Here we go. There's your flying man.
Okay.
Right? That's the right one? Yeah, that's the right one. There we go. And I'll read this. A couple in Scotland were left scratching their heads when they spotted a puzzling object floating over the city of Glasgow.
Oh my God.
And some suspect that the oddity could be a flying humanoid. According to local media report, the strange sighting occurred earlier this week when Lindsay Curry and her boyfriend noticed the peculiar UFO in the sky outside their apartment in the neighborhood of Maryhill.
The thumbnail is so ridiculous looking.
It's like a weird angel in the clouds, but blurry and pixelated. It's very weird.
It looks. Speaking of Doctor Who, we were just talking about Doctor Who in the regular episode. That looks exactly like a what are they called? Vogon? What are they called? The ones that can shapeshift. That looks like one of them. It looks like a starfish man alien, like from a rubber suit from the 60s.
If you're curious at which the method is this couple captured this footage, they put their phone camera to the lens of a binocular. So what you're seeing is through the binoculars.
Is that why? Yeah, it looks like a weird 1920s pre-current technology Nickelodeon film.
I feel terrible for thinking this, but the first thing I thought of when I saw this image of this flying man, do you remember back when President George W. Bush was running the show? And Al Ghraib prison, they were torturing prisoners. I'm going to send you a link.
Oh my God. The chick who's like, with the cigarette
in the hood.
Yeah.
It looks exactly like
the dude on
that.
The chair. Yeah.
You're right. Actually.
It has the energy. It literally dead ass looks like a T-posing Bloodborne boss flying through the air is what it looks like to me.
It's very weird looking. Yeah.
Yeah. It's super weird.
Are you about to tell me that you know what this is or that
I have no idea? That's it. This is all we have. This is all that exists of this right now. It's still fresh, just from a couple of days ago. We have no idea. It could be a balloon. It could be a Jaques Skellington balloon. Who fucking knows?
It doesn't look very alive.
No, it's very still. and the way it glides through the air just is very, very standy still.
But it could
but if
be
that
like
wasn't enough for you
a
boys,
weird Monty Python-esque sorcerer or something, like.
I mean, yeah, that's what this is. But if that's not enough for you boys, I bring to you, I think the third this year alone, Nessie sighting caught on camera.
A real one? What do you think?
Nessie
Before we watch this, what do you think of this?
I don't want to. Here's your Nessie sighting. Just go ahead and check it out first.
Did you bring this because it's funny, or did you bring this because it's exciting?
What if I said it's kind of neither?
All right.
I'll read this.
All right.
A diligent Loch Ness webcam viewer with a history of spotting anomalies that just might be the site's resident monster has once again recorded such an oddity. Ireland's Oyen, oh man, I'm going to fuck this up. His first name's Oyen, I think, Eoin. His last name is O'Fowdhagain.
There's no way that's right.
Odhagain.
Whatever you just said.
It's probably pronounced
right.
like Jacob Smith or something. It's like
it's in the Zoom chat. Tell me I didn't pronounce that correctly.
I see it. I'm not even gonna try.
O'Fowdhagain.
Wayne O'Faden.
It's probably like Wayne O'Faden.
Well, I am doing my best,
dude. I don't know. That is a line I do not cross. I cannot.
That's fine.
That right.
I tried. I'm Irish. I can try.
Are we saying that thing out there on the water is the guy?
Yes. What you're seeing slowly moving across the water is supposedly Nessie. He says he established himself as something of a Nessie whisperer by way of the live stream, which watches over the iconic Scottish site.
Nessie whisperer.
What is he doing?
He's looking on the webcam.
He's like a guy who comes to the zoo and he always sees a fucking Nessie. That's what it is.
Well, you asked, and I'll answer. Over the last 2 years, the committed monster hunter has amassed a staggering 13 reports of curious incidents occurring on this very webcam, with his latest potential sighting being a case this from mid-October. So the footage you're seeing is from mid-October.
Are there not boats allowed on this loch?
It doesn't. Come on, that's a boat to you. Look how slow it's moving.
I mean, like,
there's no way.
Like,
that's
all I'm saying is, like, is there like something at least where he's like, there are no record of any watercraft in the area at this time? Like, is there anything that, like, I mean, okay, literally, I'm looking at this and it looks like a boat. Like, it doesn't have
you, Alex.
I think I maybe agree.
3 little, humps that Nessie has or whatever in the famous pic or whatever. It doesn't. It's not.
Here's what he says about it. It's a black object high out of the water, moving down the loch on the northern side.
And high out of the water is a relative term.
He says it's about 2 feet above the water.
If you told me that was footage of a speedboat, I would be like, yes, it is. I believe you. Yes, I accept that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a stretch. It doesn't look unnatural in any way.
So here's the thing, right? Let me read this because we might be looking at the wrong thing here. In a captured video of the incident above, a dark anomaly can be seen traveling down the water until it appears to realize that there is a boat heading towards it. So we're looking at the boat now. It's on the other side of the boat. What? It's like heading towards it, it says. The oddity then submerges as the vessel passes across the area where the possible monster was last seen.
Okay.
So you're right. That is a boat. There's something it's heading toward. I don't see.
Is there
looking
time code on this?
What, did I just see it? No, I did not. He doesn't give a time code. It's only a minute and a half long video, but
I'm looking popping.
So I think based on what the comments are saying,
sure.
Inside wake near the northern shore.
near
So
the northern shore.
There is a bird or something that flies by, and for a moment there's an artifact that looks like it's going under the water, but it's just the bird that flew by. It's like the very beginning, the first 8 seconds.
Okay, I'm gonna roll on back here.
There was like an artifact right in dead center. It's a bird. It flies away, and then there's a thing that shows up, and then it disappears again.
Yeah, it disappears.
That's the only thing I see that isn't the boat.
Is that what he's talking about?
Dude, I have no clue.
Oh, no. Wait. Okay, hold on. I also think I see something. At around 8 seconds, way in the top left in the water, there's this little indentation, it looks like.
8 seconds.
And then it slowly disappears by... It's gone by second 14. It's like from 8 seconds to 14 seconds in the top left of the
That's
water.
artifacting as hell. There's
Do you see what I'm talking about, though? That little
that's
line
just
that
a
slowly
line,
kind of
though.
like it goes away.
Nah, it's poo-poo.
I don't know. This is a
Listen,
rough
man,
one.
I'm trying to help out of
This
this
is a
one as
rough
best
one.
I can. It is a rough one. I think Jesse's right. It's probably an artifact or something. I don't know what he
it's
thinks
just
he's seeing here.
terrible camera.
I can't.
But the
I can't
flying
comment.
humanoid, come on, 1 out of 2 ain't too bad. The flying humanoid's pretty good footage.
Look, that's good footage. It
I'll
creeps
put that
me
up
out.
on the subreddit. I'll make sure people see it. I'm going to put up there right now.
What are they called? Zergons? Come on, somebody's going to tell me. Somebody will
Yeah,
let me.
the Doctor Who thing.
Yeah,
the Doctor
the
Who thing.
Zugots, the ones that you don't know which one's human, which one's that, and they forget. What a cool episode. Anyway,
The Zoo Gods.
I'll put this. This is going to be titled a little early for the Minisoders.
love that. Okay.
There we go. All right, take it away.
Okay. So you guys want stories, or what do you got, Jesse?
Well, I have a mysterious alien beacon.
Oh,
Whoa.
do tell.
Okay.
Well, okay, I got you. So, a radio signal seeming to originate from the star Proxima Centauri is the topic of this one. So, since 2016, Breakthrough Listen, which is a scientific organization that's trying to figure out what's out there using SETI stuff and all that. They've been getting weird blips and bloops from, what they consider to be possible alien civilizations. They've been checking them out for a while now, and it's something that's just on their radar. They get millions of them from unknown origins, and it could just be space, who knows? In 2019, they received a different signal. It was detected by the 64-meter Parkes Muriang radio telescope in southeastern Australia and came from the direction of the Proxima Centauri, the nearest star to the sun, just 1.3 parsecs, 4.2 light years away. Proxima Centauri is of interest to SETI because, it's not just nearby, but it has at least 2 planets that they believe to be the right distance for there to be liquid water present on the surface, which, as we all know, is like one of the building blocks of life.
Do we have the power to create this type of signal here?
Well, let's continue on. The mysterious signal was first spotted last year. I guess this is from 2020. First was spotted in 2019 by Shane Smith, an undergraduate student at Hillsdale College in Michigan.
Yeah.
Who was working as researcher intern for Breakthrough Listen. Smith was combing through data, and he came across this stuff, and it appears, I guess, during a time where they had the telescope pointed at Proxima Centauri for 26 hours just to see what they picked up. They got a signal, and it was crazy. They never received a signal like this before in their life. Just like a wild breakthrough signal. And they were freaking out trying to figure out what the hell this
Just
thing
picturing
was.
the beginning of Independence Day, like to a T.
So this is from this year, but because now they're like in November 2020 and in January, April of this year. All right. The researchers pointed the telescope back at Proxima Centauri to see if they could pick it up again.
Interesting.
And what happened is they could not.
Oh, well, that's not as good as I'd hoped.
They could not find it again. Eventually, the team spotted other signals in the original data that looked a lot like it. But what they realized, these signals were 982 megahertz signals. And they tossed it about. They couldn't figure out what was going on. But what they did figure out is the signals, were modulated and muddied kind of like you would do with a guitar amplifier. And in order to distort noise from the guitar. And they couldn't figure out what the hell this was. And they had all these observations and all these different things. And they could not detect what was going on. Well, turns out that what they thought was just weird radio waves, maybe, or something from a different. They have concluded that it is human made.
Wow.
But here's the thing. They don't know how.
They have no idea how they're getting the signal or how the humans could make that signal.
So in Nature Astronomy, there are two research papers, and this is as of October 26, 2021. There are two research papers about this sound or whatever, the signal they got. And they're like, hey, yeah, no, it's human-made radio interference from some technology probably on the surface of the Earth. That's the conclusion. But that, again, is a huge problem for me because they never definitively give you an answer, which is why it allows people to be like, this is a cover-up. Because the way they just said that is insane. Like, yeah, it's human-made radio interference, probably from Earth. Probably from Earth? Where else are humans?
Right, that's the thing. Like, why probably from Earth? Like,
what a crazy
maybe
statement.
they use the Allspark to create a portal to Cybertron, and it's humans
that's the
reporting
issue.
from
Like, I agree
Cybertron.
with Jesse. That's the issue, man. They're just so willing to drop it at that, too. They're like, probably from Earth, and we're done. No more explanation. That's it. That's all you're getting. Goodbye. Believe us. Trust us, please.
Yeah, what's wild about this article is most of the article is about the search for extraterrestrials. Just the idea of like, hey, we are detecting things. They talk about other signals in the past that we've received. And they talk about SETI and all the different things that people are doing. They even have a quote about like the universe being a haystack and we're trying to find the needle, that kind of thing. But the
More
bit
soft
about,
disclosure, baby.
Yeah, but the bit about it being from Earth is one paragraph long.
And it's probably not even a definitive.
It's probably like something they don't have a lot to say about, but they probably like figured out some small mistake they made and they don't want to.
I wonder if they just can't figure it out. So they're just like, it's probably us. Since we don't know what else it could be, then it must probably be us.
I would love to just get them on a web call and ask them like real quick.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? But it also goes along with the thing I was talking about before in between episodes where NASA's building this new huge telescope specifically for the purposes of catching not necessarily UFOs. I mean, that's a bit jumpy, but catching like anomalies in our sky, in our stars, and seeing what they maybe could be to give us some answers, which is awesome because the head of NASA in that interview was like, if they are from other civilizations, hopefully this telescope will at least give us that answer. That'd be sick. Who knows? Who knows? But according to them, it's humans on Earth. There you go. That is a frustrating answer.
Yeah, sucks,
Alex,
doesn't it? Where they're like,
it does suck.
We did our research and we found out it's humans on Earth. We can't tell you why or how. Like, what?
Incredible.
Yeah, it's that's the most frustrating shit in the world.
Thanks for the evidence, folks.
Right. It's just like you can't even. Oh, God. All right. Anyway, Alex, wrap this Minisode up for us with the story.
Okay, yeah. So I have two stories. We're going to pick one. Do you guys want the like scene from a horror movie or like the one that's like a scene from like Touched by an Angel?
Horror movie, please.
Yeah, I'll go with the horror movie one.
This one's called It Came for Us in the Graveyard. We were driving my friend's really old beat up Subaru through a massive graveyard. We stopped and walked down a hill and came across a little pond. There was someone sitting on a rock on the other side of the pond. The figure was all black and we couldn't make out any features other than the fact that it looked like a man who was wearing some old style top hat. We stupidly waved and shouted, "Hi!" He didn't show any acknowledgement and continued sitting still on the rock. All of a sudden, he jumped to his feet, started running to us on the water, and then vanished in thin water about halfway on the pond. My friends and I screamed and ran back to the car.
Jesus Christ.
The car wouldn't start, and we heard something banging on the back of the car. It wasn't a constant bang, but every few seconds or so, we'd hear it. Nobody was outside from what we could see in the dark, but something was making noise on the car. I opened my phone and started dialing my mom to come give us a boost, but I had no service. None of us had any cell service. The next 30 minutes were spent trying to get her car started. No banging was heard afterwards, but we felt this heavy pressure around us. Finally, the car started and she hit the pedal to the metal. We sped out of the graveyard so fast. Immediately crossing the gates, all of our phones regained cell service. One thing I know for certain is that someone or something was out there, and it was not an animal or a human.
Yeah, no, that's...
What do we think?
Here's the thing, right? Like, here's the thing. If it's ghost, demon, skinwalker, whatever, creepy as hell. If it's a fucking person, scarier. There's just a stranger fucking with you in the middle of the night, and they know that you're scared. They're staying in the dark. They're like, let's just fuck with these kids.
One of those guys where the hook hand is like still on the car or some type of thing.
Yeah. That's probably what it is. And that's worse because there's a human fucking with you and you don't know where they are, what they want, and all that other shit.
Not a bad little spookum.
Hook.
Not a bad little spookum
for our honorary belated Halloween episode. I guess this was our Halloween minisode following our Halloween episode.
If it's going to happen, you might as well throw a scare in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Thank you guys so much for listening, and thank you all on Patreon for the support. We appreciate you a great deal. We will be back next week with another minisode for all you guys with our new crazy headlines that'll end up hitting the world in a week or so. Until then, we'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Cool.
Thank you to Talkspace for sponsoring this episode. And when it comes to therapy and psychiatry, getting the help that you need has never been so simple. When you're able to access your provider from the comfort of your device, it means mental health care can be on your schedule, and alleviating the wait times to get an appointment or travel time to an office can free up time for the rest of your life. Talkspace is so convenient and accessible, it helps me feel supported around the clock. Talkspace lets you send messages to your dedicated therapist in the Talkspace platform, which allows you to update them on all the challenges and triumphs that you're facing in real time, so you don't have to wait for your next session. With Talkspace, you set goals with your therapist and they hold you accountable and make sure you're actually progressing. Therapy can help you shift your perspective in life, find tools to cope in difficult times, and can help be a guiding light. And as I say every single time, the most important thing for me is its security. Talkspace is secure and private, using the latest end-to-end bank-grade encryption technology to store client information and complying with the latest HIPAA regulations. And as always, Talkspace has a great offer for you. As a listener of this podcast, you can get $100 off of your first month with Talkspace. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com, make sure you use our code CHILL to get $100 off of your first month and show your support for our show. That's promo code CHILL at Talkspace.com.
Hello, my little Chilluminati. I'm back to Chill Mini 72.
Alert!
Alert, boys.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I don't listen to this awful podcast. It's
almost like we do it.
When you put these together, do you include the intros so if you combine 3, they get 3 intros?
Yes, they get everything.
Oof, that sucks. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, I leave.
You gotta hear us do this 3 times in one.
Yeah, we get this in public.
If you have
eventually.
D-Box at your house, that shit rocks your butt and balls. It turns them into a custard. Yeah, I goose the bass. I goose the bass as high as it'll go. Dogs just keel over and die when he says that.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm excited for what you boys brought, but mine's quick because it's another UFO sighting, this time in France, seen by multiple people and filmed. I'm going to send you the video.
We have footy?
We have footy, baby. We've got footy from the floor.
We've got footy.
The ground floor. Here you go. There it is. I'll read the article. A glowing cigar-shaped UFO was caught on film by multiple mystified witnesses in southern France earlier this week. According to a local media report, the intriguing incident occurred this past Tuesday evening and was seen by several people living in various communities around the city of Montpellier. Shortly after the mass sighting took place, social media in France was flooded with videos of the peculiar UFO, which seemed to be rectangular in shape, emitting a powerful glow and traveling at a rather high rate of speed while occasionally rotating.
Yeah.
The odd object drew gasps from those who saw it, and in one instance seen above, even prompted a motorist to stop his vehicle to get out and film the sight. The case has drawn a fair amount of media attention in France, and as of now, experts in the country have been left scratching their heads as to what the anomaly could have been, although some skeptical observers have suggested that it was either a drone or possibly some kind of secret test craft, indicating that when it comes to UFOs, the media in France apparently sees the subject in a manner similar to their counterparts in America. A compilation of videos captured by witnesses can be seen below, which I've given a few things of, complete with X-File themes and everything. But there you go. A weird cigar-shaped UFO.
So looking at it,
I will post this on the Reddit. I'm going to do it right now.
Looking at it, my eyes, I'm not an expert at analyzing footage by any means.
Sure.
My eyes, it looks like something small that's a little closer. Like definitely like, I would say looks to be, to me, and you can tell me what you think, it looks to be less than 100 feet in the air. Like if you look around 16, 17 seconds in this file, it looks like this, to me, looks like it's pretty close to them and kind of low to the ground. But as the first comment on the video says from a person called Coin1, he says, drones aren't silent. A drone that size would be loud as fuck. And he's right. I think that it's big enough that if it were
dead ass silent.
Yeah, like I'm saying, like this video has audio. You know what I mean? Like if it was making sound, I would be hearing the sound, but I don't know.
Gentlemen,
Yes.
listeners, this is why you got a deep dive. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm here.
So this article is from 3 days ago.
Yes,
So,
from 1 day ago.
ooh, baby.
YouTube, I'm going to say influencer, French prankster, the 7.27 million subscribers on YouTube. He has this guy, Remy Guérard, has a video entitled UFO Spotted in France, ? And in it, he introduces himself and like a meteorologist and like another person. And it's like, oh, hey, this is all over the news. This big UFO. That was us. We did that. That's how we fooled you all. I used these two people to fool you all.
So what did he do? Was it a drone?
I can just send it to you now. I haven't watched the full video, but there's the video. It is like, I'm on a podcast. I can't watch the full video.
Yeah,
but
obviously.
It has English subtitles for those of you who want to look into it. And it's literally just him trolling everyone. He's a French prankster, and I guess this is what he does.
I want to see the thing. I'm looking like I'm scrubbing
It's in the video
footage.
that he shows footage of it at 56 seconds. There's a clip of it. And it's just him saying like,
But
this
he
is what
doesn't
we
show
did.
it. He doesn't show it like, here's what it was in his hands.
At the end, I'm looking at all the different things that they're doing.
A comment says they can't wait for the next part of this. So it seems like he's trickling it out piece by piece on how he did this.
Okay, I'm interested. But wow,
Yeah, coming soon. It ends in coming soon with...
Like I say,
what the
to me,
fuck?
it looked like it was something that was kind of small and in the atmosphere, but I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. It could be... I'm trying to think. Like, I have to look at the video again. But
I can't wait for someone to be like, well, of course, that's how the government would cover it up, by hiring a prankster to.
All right, yeah.
That's just
I can't be on that team. I can't. I just can't be on that team. Unfortunately,
that's the one road I cannot follow.
Yeah,
I
I
would
can't.
do anything.
All right, boys, take it away.
But I won't do
Alex, what you
that.
got?
I have an article called "Possible Reptilian Entity Encounter in Venezuela." They say that there is footprints that were found in Venezuela and Caracas, 10 inches long, odd toes. I have a link to the Instagram post that has the toes if you guys want to see it. The subtitle or whatever you want to say, it's in Spanish, but I'll just read it to you. I translated it in Google. Reptilians among us. A strange footprint appears in a house in Caracas. On November 6th, Adrian Escalante was able to discover on the second floor of a residence located in the center of Caracas, the capital of Venezuela, some strange dark colored prints on the floor whose appearance does not justify. I'm sure that's not right. In the graph made by witnesses, 2 footprints of 25 centimeters long can be seen, equivalent to a size 40 in footwear. However, the width of one of them does not coincide with the proportional morphology associated with that measurement, but that's not the only outlier. So Google Translate is extremely verbose there for some reason. But I don't know how I feel about these footprints. They're kind of in a weird zone. They look like they're like dust on glass or something.
Yeah, it looks bizarre.
But apparently,
It looks like...
Apparently, Hector Escalante is a South American UFO researcher guy, and he was the one who sort of like made like kind of put this thing from being like an organic viral thing to like UFO people care about it now, or like paranormal people care about it now. They were found on the second floor of a house, and none of there was no other prints on the stairs or at the door or at the windows, so. Nobody knows how the prints got there. The only 2 prints in the house were those ones, and they're made of what that is dark mud that's dried, apparently. So
that's weird. It's definitely weird.
Yeah.
It just sucks. That's all we've got are these 2 weird pictures.
Well, but here's the other thing. So
I wish he had...
So another thing that people think it might be is the chupacabra, because apparently Venezuela is chupacabra territory, and you know it's that type of the track. I mean, you can see the tracks there. They look kind of hand drawn if you ask me, but like I don't know, they look just real enough to be convincing in a little bit, but they're not sure. There's also another like Bigfoot type ape creature called the Mono Grande that maybe it could be. But then there's also just another cryptid that's like, you know what a caiman is?
Yes.
No,
it's like a big, like gator looking thing.
How do you spell like CAMON?
CAIMAN.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah. Like a little tiny baby alligator thing.
It's not even baby. It's like, you know, I mean, I guess these are a little small, but like the cryptid is just a big one. What the cryptid is. So they don't know. Those are the things that they're saying that it could be. But also, if it was one of those, it's very likely that it would fuck up the whole house and not just leave 2 prints on the second floor. But at the end of the interview, he also throws in that it could be interdimensional entities of a reptilian nature, which to me is him like
honestly classic.
Him like dog whistling to a community online.
Very much so. Absolutely. That fits a very particular group of people.
So who knows? I don't know if it's a hoax or
I'm
what.
I'm with you on that. I think they're like just believable enough if you really like want to.
Yeah.
But,
and if that wasn't long enough, I got a couple other cryptid sightings just because we've talked about this guy before. The Dog Man. He's a Michigan guy. There's been some sightings of the Dog Man in the last month. 2 separate sightings, one in Michigan, one in East Texas. So get ready.
oh shit! I got to keep my eye out for the Dogman out here.
Yeah, apparently the Dogman. A little quote about the Dogman is a cryptid from Michigan from the 1700s. It's fully canine, walks on its hind legs, uses its forelimbs to carry chunks of roadkill or deer carcasses, pointed ears on top of their heads, big fangs, bushy tails. They walk like on their toe pads like dogs, which is like the like signature sign of this one versus like a Bigfoot or something like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the recent sightings, one is a video that might be, they say it's not Bigfoot, it's Dogman. I'm trying to get the link for you here.
Very distinct difference.
Yeah, we can drop that in. I'll put this in the subreddit if you guys remind me. This is the Dogman. This video is from 2014, but this is the same creature. You can like barely see it in there. It's like pretty awful footage.
Yeah, I'm looking. And that shaking is making it difficult.
Ooh,
yeah,
that is shaky.
It's a rough one.
Why they always be shaky?
Yeah. But this video came out last month, but or it was like posted last month, but it's from like 2014. And then another guy, there is a musician in Texas who got a text from a friend of his in East Texas, saying, "Hey, I saw this like creature," and they have a zoom of it. I'm going to send you the link to the image. It's pretty low res.
Oh my God, what am I looking at?
But they're saying, I don't know if it's Bigfoot or Dogman, but they say that's those are the two sightings.
Hell?
Those are the
like
two sightings of
pixels.
the Dogman. Yeah.
These are rough sightings, man. It sounds like somebody saw an animal and got real fucking scared.
Yeah, I don't know. But between those, 3 cryptid sightings, all with some sort of evidence, something worth checking out if you got a few minutes to pour over and go down a little rabbit hole, especially if you've never heard of the Dogman before.
Agreed. Go check it out.
Well, speaking of animals, I've one really quick thing I just discovered, and then the actual story. Okay. So this popped up on my news article, which I think is very funny. Another interesting thing. This happened today, I guess, but apparently heavy rainstorms in the Egyptian city of Aswan, I assume that's how it's pronounced, have caused all the scorpions that live underground, because everything's flooding. The scorpions have now left their homes, and in the process, attacked and injured at least 500 people, sending them to the hospital.
Oh my God.
Jesus
Can you
Christ.
Sounds like a
imagine?
nightmare. A nightmare.
Imagine being
thank
at the
you.
hospital and it's like, first there's like, you're like, wow, there's like 4 people who got scorpion bites. And then all of a sudden you're like, no.
That's like a horror movie. Yeah, that
It
sucks.
really is. Ugh, ugh, ugh.
Apparently, at least 3 are confirmed dead, but 500 in the hospital. And I guess
Yikes.
the big-tailed scorpions in Egypt are considered the most deadly. So, hey, be safe. Holy crap.
Yeah,
What the
please
fuck
God
do
be
they
safe.
do? Oh my God.
Speaking of being safe, I'm transitioning like a pro here. All right, Gentlemen.
Patreon.com/Chilluminati. Oh, no, never mind. Different
We're
transition.
there already,
Yeah.
actually.
gentlemen, this story is incredible. If you survive one plane crash in your lifetime, you are considered to be very lucky. Today, we're doing the story of Dennis Collier. This is just hot off the presses. A licensed Traverse City pilot who paid $110,000 for a 2010 Seawind, like water plane, a plane that can land on water and on a runway. The plane itself only had about 20 hours of flight time on it, so it is considered brand new almost. And on Saturday, he bought the plane. A week later, he had crashed it 7 times in 4 states.
Oh my
What?
God.
He went
Oh,
from 0 to Harrison Ford in like 1 week.
Oh, yeah, it's a hell of a story, Collier said, of his plan to fly solo from the West Coast to Boyne City, from California to the UP, I guess Upper Peninsula of Michigan is what that is. Everyone kept telling me I was lucky to be alive. Collier wanted to capture the experience while it was fresh in his mind, so he wrote out a first-person account in case it had, any motion picture potential. The FAA, the U.S. Coast Guard, and Michigan State Police all performed various response to this thing and investigated as well and added information to the narrative. So these are the crashes. It's crazy to me that this happened. Crash number 1. The first of 7 crashes happened while I was attempting to land after test flying it in California. The landing gear was still up. That banged up the plane pretty good, but no one was hurt.
That banged up the plane pretty good. Is this a news
A few
article?
good old dents in there. No problem.
Is this a
no
news
problem.
article or like the mechanic
This is like
himself?
him explaining what happened. Crash
my
number
God.
2. The engine stalled, causing the plane to come down hard in a runway in New Mexico, taking out a sign and runway lights. Again, no injury. So this guy destroyed an airport in New Mexico. Crash number 3, and this is him making his way to Michigan. Crash number 3. This crash took place at the same airport as crash number 2, but no one's really sure what happened. He took it up and it instantly came back down.
What?
Crash
He's
number 4.
having a hard time, man.
After leaving, at this point, I would have been like, nah, this plane, you know what? That's a waste of 110,000. At this point, crash number 4, after leaving New Mexico and being in the air for a couple hours, more problems arose. The left wing hinge tab was stuck and the plane was pitching up. It took
God.
all of the pilot's strength to control the craft.
Who let it back in the air? What the fuck?
And he tried to land 4 times before he finally
4
crash
times.
landed in Nebraska.
Dude, this
That's
man
so
is
fucking funny.
this man is a fool. This man
Crash
is not
number
cut out
5.
for flying planes.
After repairing the plane, he performed a test flight and crashed in Nebraska again.
Amazing. I love this guy.
Crash number 6. According to crash number 6, the hydraulic pressure gauge was registering at 0, and the fuel gauge showed an uneven supply. He radioed the airport to ask if there was a spotter on the ground who could look and tell him if, what was going on? Was the landing gear down? What was happening? He got no response. So, when he finally got to Michigan, he did a skid landing into the runway, and that was crash number 6. And then crash number 7, attempting to make his way to Lake Michigan. Since this is amazing. Since the Seawind had so many recent issues with the landing gear and all those different things, he had to promise the FAA that he would keep his landing gear down for his 25-minute flight.
I would have been like, get in the fucking car, you dude. Like, fuck
The
this.
FAA was
just
like,
drive.
we can't trust this plane, so make sure you're ready to land at any time. So he kept it down. However, he did not know that the plane would be unresponsive, forcing him to make a emergency water landing because his flaps weren't doing what he wanted it to do.
That is fucking
But-
insane.
Because he had his landing gear down, when he hit the water, his plane
Oh my
went
God,
in
the
nose
water.
first.
Oh my God.
And then I imagine flipped or whatever happened, but now he is uninjured and the plane is at the bottom of Lake Michigan.
Wow.
Good riddance,
Wow.
dude. This guy does not deserve to be alive. That is fucking insane.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Most of the
my
comments are like, screw this guy. This guy's a danger to society.
Yeah, I can see why they might feel that way.
Everybody's got that one friend who you just like, you don't want to get in their car. You know that friend? They're like, he's not, well, yeah, I love him, but he drives weird. Like, that's this guy.
I can't believe 7 times in a week, in the span of 7 days, he crashed 7 times.
That's fucking insane. I cannot. That's paranormal. He's like, I can't. I don't even know what to tell you. That's just outrageous. Maybe maybe he was the jetpack guy too.
He was a jetpack man all along.
I just like that fate was like, it's at the bottom of the lake now. You're never going to.
He was like, well, he's immortal. Well, let's take away his toy.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Unreal. Yeah. So that's a thing that happened.
Amazing.
Thank you for that story. That is, I can't imagine being that man. All right. Well, poor guy for being
One
an idiot.
crash.
I'm glad if he died, different story. I'm glad he's
Right.
alive. What a dumbass.
Me too. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening, and thank you for supporting us over at Patreon. We'll be back next week with a brand new minisode for you all. So thank you guys, and we'll see you then.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks to Stamps.com for sponsoring this episode. I'm here to bring you some bad news. The holiday season isn't all that far away. Kind of has a suspicious way of sneaking up on us every year. So it's time to think about mailing presents to all those people who live way too far away for you to go fly to because you don't love them that much. If you're a small business owner like myself, you also know how important it is to be ready for the insane holiday season. If you haven't started preparing for the chaos yet, you need to start. You're falling behind. Quick, catch up. Come on. Luckily, Stamps.com can help you catch up. It has everything you need to make your life a whole lot easier, and it's the 24/7 post office that you can access from anywhere. Literally no lines, no traffic. Stamps.com is your one-stop shop for all your shipping and mailing needs. For more than 20 years, Stamps.com has been indispensable for over 1 million businesses, and you get access to USPS and UPS services you need to run your business right from your computer. With inflation on the rise, every dollar counts. Protect your margins with major discounts on USPS and UPS rates up to 86% off. Get ahead of the holiday chaos this year. Do yourself that favor at the very least and get started with Stamps.com today. Sign up with promo code CHILL for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus free postage and a free digital scale with no long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the page, and enter code CHILL. Thanks again to Stamps.com for sponsoring the episode.
Hello, my little Chilluminauts, and welcome to Minisode 73. Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby. Welcome to 73. We're here. 73, baby.
Yo, have
I'd
you
like
guys
everyone
seen-
to know I do not approve of that intro.
Yeah, 73.
No.
I have not seen the new Ghostbusters, gentlemen.
Me neither.
I'm going to share something with you
Okay.
that I just saw on Twitter. This isn't the article. Have you seen the leaked toy art of
the one that has
Slimer
the
getting his
new
ass
Slimer
eaten?
getting eaten, like the old Slimer getting eaten by new Slimer? It's
Yeah,
weird.
it's, I guess,
What?
Muncher eating Slimer, and it looks like Slimer's ass is just being eaten, and he's enjoying the ever living
Slimer's
hell
like,
out of it.
Can I get a link to this, please?
I just sent it on Twitter. It should be on Twitter.
Oh my
It's amazing.
God, what?
I guess it's for one of the toys, maybe?
Yeah, it's like a toy. It's a toy.
So funny looking.
toy
oh
art.
My God.
Look at he's loving it. Don't look at even the way his arms are
Yeah, the
positioned.
body
like
language
he's like
is so
in
weird.
doggy. He's like in
Muncher
upward
and
dog.
Slimer.
I don't even.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to think about that. What accident happened here that caused this to occur?
Capitalism.
Why does he have little human hands?
I don't know. And he's like his right, the one on our left, is so like weirdly like elegant, like it's long and kind of dainty.
Yeah, it looks like an old woman's like drawing room pose. I don't know.
For a more elegant age.
Not as clumsy or random as a dildo.
Good Lord.
Good night, everybody.
Welcome.
We did it.
Yeah, that's it. That's Minisode 73. A minute and 49 seconds. A minute and
Alex
51
blasts
seconds.
off and flies away.
And like a little PNG of me rotating through space.
Just fire coming out of your lower half. I don't know what you guys got for today, but I know we just did a giant thing of things that definitely didn't happen. So I'm going to bring it back to reality. A woman got abducted by a UFO last week, everybody.
Wow, right.
Definitively.
Okay.
Definitively happened.
It's okay.
UFO abducts woman in Argentina and returns her 40 miles from where she was taken.
This is incredible.
The story is coming from L.A. This is translate.
Los Angeles?
No, it's Google Translate. La Pampa El Misterio de la Mujer. It's a very complicated website.
La Pampa del Misterio.
The article reads, the woman who disappeared for several hours from a field south of Jacinto Aruez called El Estribo and was found near Guatarache Caminero Post is already in the town resting. The renowned Pompeian ufologist Oscar Mario confirmed that he will carry out the investigation of the case on which he interviewed relatives and friends. So basically what went down is after a series of routine studies carried out by General Acha, the woman was transferred after the event to the local hospital and then to Jacinto Aruez Hospital, where after regaining her speech, she recounted what had happened. She entered the healthcare facility in a state of shock and was only able to communicate by writing. She said she had heard a noise, then went outside to the patio, saw a white light, and then appeared where she was found about 65 kilometers or 40 miles away from her country house. This same version he gave to local professionals and family members who affirmed that he was fine. So same story across the board. A carrier from that's the story. She saw a light. There were other people on the highway that said they also claimed to have seen a light in the area around that time at 11 p.m. on Monday night at that particular point. But she went through a whole hospital check-in. Everything seemed fine. And beyond the fact that she just appeared really far away from where she was, there's not really any other evidence than that. Just something that kind of happened.
I'm going to be honest. I can't stop thinking about Oscar Mario, man.
I was literally about to make that joke about Oscar Mario. I had a whole build up. Yeah, Oscar Mario is the best part of that story.
I can't stop thinking about him.
Oscar Mario.
I love Oscar Mario for NES.
The funny thing, I guess, in with this particular story is that in August of 2002, something similar happened with the neighbor Raul Dorado, who found an unidentified object in a field near the town. The man arrived home shocked, where he could only communicate with his wife by signs or by writing a few words, very similar to the previous person, from where they took him to the hospital, and it was found that he had a puncture on the ring finger on his left hand. So
what could have happened to them?
Almost 20 years ago happened, and now this woman disappears and is found a little bit later. No big. That's pretty much it. That's kind of the story. That's all I got. Unfortunately, there's not much more than that.
The thing I want from these UFO stories is I get the tropes. Like the tropes, yeah. I'm like, at this point, we believe what we're going to believe about the tropes. Like a million articles about stories where these, like, the light comes down, they go up over here, they come down over here, they have like a wound, like they got cut or something, and they're like traumatized. That stuff, I'm like, I'm not going to say that that's all bullshit. That's not what I'm saying. Right. I'm just saying, like, those details, if you believe them, you're going to believe that they happen sometimes. And if not, you don't. I'm waiting for the one where it's like that shit happens, but then also like a tree with human skin was left gnarled and spouting blue ooze at the site. Like, I want like some insane alien texture. You know what I mean? If we can have
I'm with you. I mean, the only thing we have on this, just to kind of wrap up the story here, is that we're still waiting on the analysis of the justice and the police. So we're still waiting for an official government kind of like what happened, et cetera, et cetera. Important things to note. Her clothes, including her shoes, did not appear as though they were well worn or even traveled that mile on foot. So if she did get there, Uber, taxi's a possibility if she wasn't like lifted via UFO and dropped off.
How was she?
There.
Was she found in a like? How was she found?
So she said what basically happened is she kind of woke up in an area, like she became aware in an area, didn't know where she was. She had her cell phone and her clothes, and that's it. And she was wandering around looking for a signal before she was
No
picked
money,
up.
no nothing.
No money, no wallet, no nothing beyond the basics, it seems. At least by this article, which again is being translated from Spanish to English, and it's not super detailed.
Sure.
It's interesting enough. It's interesting enough that it feels like if it is a hoax, it's like a planned hoax. You know, rather than
I was curious. Maybe it's like one of those. She met her lover in the next town over, and her excuse for getting with him was that was an abduction because she got caught. But what you're telling me is that like, no, she called it in and she didn't have her information on her, which, you know, seems weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of interesting little tidbits to that story. I don't know what it all means, but it's interesting.
Yeah, it's just a strange little occurrence out there. And apparently this area has kind of been a hot zone for unidentified flying objects since like 1980, they're saying. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know if anything else is going to come out of this, if the government will just ignore it or not, but an interesting little alien potential out there.
They will ignore it.
Yeah, of course they will.
I love that.
That's me though. That's my exciting alien topic of the day.
Well, I have a little tiny tidbit, or do you want to go first, Alex? What do you? All right. Mine is a short, sweet story from one of the Hawaiian islands, Oahu.
Ooh,
where
I've never gone to Hawaii.
Stream. Dude, Hawaii's beautiful.
I've heard.
Oh my God. I can't even like stress how
it feels like literally magical to be there. Weirdly, I haven't been there in a long time, but it feels really good to be there.
Yes, it's beautiful. A stream suddenly started smelling like alcohol.
Ooh.
People, of course, got really worried. They feared there was some crazy contamination. They had no idea what it was. And so the Hawaiian News Now went to YPO, which I think is what the place is called, and tested the water because there was a lot of people just saying like, this stream smells like
liquor.
Booze. And so they went and they tested the water, and when they got the results back, the alcohol volume of the water was 1.2%.
Oh my God.
What the
Which
fuck
is
is happening?
It's not gonna get you drunk, but like you'll be buzzed. I mean, I guess if you drink enough of it, you get drunk. But like
water, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so according to those who went to test it, they said the stream smelled enough like alcohol to make you think that like the whole area had this beer stench to it.
That's like 1910 news. That sounds like something that like you don't see happening anymore. That's crazy.
This is a quote. The other day we came here and you would think there was a beer pub that hadn't opened its doors for 3 or 4 days. Environmental activist Carol Cox said she's with the Department of Health.
A beer pub? Is she a fucking narc? What is that?
She said it's disturbing. The spill was found to be coming from, so there was a spill they detected. It was found to be coming from a drain pipe. And they tracked this drain pipe all the way back to a thing called Paradise Beverages, an alcohol distributor. But as of right now today, there are no detected spills at that plant. Anthony Rowe, Paradise Beverages Director of Operations, told Hawaii News Now, it may be coming from us. That's why we're working with the proper authorities. They have found nothing. It's just like they tracked it back there, but it may not be them. But they're like, we'll help out. But there is no evidence of where this is coming from. They just know they found a drain pipe and they're like, oh, that drain pipe smells like booze. And they just like tracked it back to the obvious source, which would be a place that has alcohol. But that place has no evidence of any spills.
Huh.
Weird.
Yeah. So it is pretty wild. They say as of now, the smell has disappeared, but they have no idea where it came from to begin with.
Maybe the Bible got it wrong and God didn't turn water to wine, but water to moonshine.
Beer.
Yeah, he just fermented some shit inside the water.
Yeah. As Ben Franklin so aptly put it, you know, booze is in fact beer is evidence of God's existence. So
True. True.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
if
that's a
you
weird
think
one.
about it, where the fuck do we invent that shit? Think about it.
In abbeys, in monasteries. Yeah.
Just it's wild to me. Anyway, I have something from Mysterious Universe again. Just the wackiest website of all time. I love it. Today's article asks a very important question that I know you guys have probably stayed up thinking about nights and nights on nights.
Sure.
What happens to Bigfoots once they die?
They get called back to their home planet.
Yeah, so here's the various answers that people have given in the past. They decompose deep in the forest before they can be found, like bears do sometimes. They're eaten by scavengers. They die in another dimension or are taken to another planet. They're cannibals, or they bury their dead like humans. And the most important one of those today is that they bury their dead like humans because they think they may have found some Bigfoot graves. So what I'm going to do, and here's the thing, there are links to the Bigfoot graves in this article, and I have not looked at them yet. I have not looked at the pictures.
Are we about
yet.
to be supremely disappointed?
Yeah, but
Proper
before,
Minisode research, basically.
yeah, but before that, well, I just thought it would be fun to
Yeah, of course.
the big
I'm just
reveal.
toying.
But I first have a quote for you to read, Mathis, about this. So go ahead and
I'm excited. I'm very ready.
go ahead and
Twitter
read
resume.
that. Yeah, Twitter. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Let me get the Twitter refreshed. All right, there we go. Here we go. As I said, there has been times while out hiking, exploring, or conducting Bigfoot research that I've found or came across what appears to be a grave of some sort. Many years ago, we came across one while logging way back in the head of a hollow. We didn't take pictures and, of course, didn't disturb it. This was many years ago, but over the last 8 to 10 years, I have found similar humps of dirt in places that are in the middle of nowhere.
That is a quote from Thomas Markham.
Edison.
Yeah, Thomas Alva Edison. He is the founder of the Crypto Crew. You may have known him from the news earlier this year when he discovered a cave in Kentucky with humanoid tracks near the entrance. Nearby, he found broken branches while hunting for American ginseng. That's what led him to the cave. And this week, he revealed pictures of the mounds that he has found on multiple expeditions.
All right, I'm excited to see these.
He said
The
they could be
Crypto
Bigfoot
Crew sounds
phrase.
like our nemesis.
The Crypto Crew?
Like the Chilluminati versus the Crypto Crew.
They're
It
like the
sounds
jocks,
like they're the
jocks
enemy.
who study cryptozoology across the
Yeah.
lake. Here's one for you, Jesse. Another
Oh
quote.
boy. This photograph shows a large mount of dirt and rocks. It is also the one used at the top of the post. There are actually two of these that are probably 30 to 40 feet apart. This hump of dirt resembles a grave more than many of the other ones I've found.
Yeah, and according to him, this is like a lot of, he finds these all the time. He's not saying these are Bigfoot graves, and he doesn't want to desecrate them just in case they're somebody else's graves. He just thinks they might be graves.
What this man doesn't know is he's been discovering the graves of a serial killer for years, and because he hasn't turned them in, well,
he has some stuff to say about that too, Mathis. So this one's for you.
okay. I am excited. All right. The reason many of us do not share these types of things or give exact details is that we know old Joe Blow would want to go dig it up. If a possible unknown grave was to be dug into and the remains exhumed, it would need to be done by experts with the proper authority. You would want to preserve all that you could of the remains. Right. So you should, sir, go to the authorities and say you may have found some human-sized graves.
Yeah.
Right?
So you can imagine why he's not touching them, because out of respect
respecting the
for
dead.
the Bigfoot dead. So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys the link, and then we can all visit this website together.
All right.
Here
Let
we
me know
go.
when you send it so
Here
I can
it
refresh.
is on the count of three.
All right.
One.
Hang on. I got to wait for it to pop.
Yeah.
Hang on.
1,
There we go.
2,
Okay.
3.
Are we looking?
These pictures are the pictures of.
This is his mounds that he's convinced.
Oh, if you click on them, they get a little bigger.
Yeah, no, that's.
But what they do look like, I got to be honest, is the root structure of a tree.
That's literally what I was going to say, especially the second picture. But one, both of these mounds are next to trees, multiple trees, like against the trunk of the tree. And it just looks like moss grown over the exposed roots.
If you
Squint?
showed me these photos with zero context, I'd ask, what are you taking a photo of? And if you said the mounds of Bigfoot that are dead,
And buried.
I would look at you like you had lost your mind, because these are just like,
I don't even, the second picture, is that a mound?
The second one just looks like a triangle of plants together.
Yes, it does.
Dude, this article ends so good. You
Let me
guys-
hear it.
If any other Bigfoot researchers have encountered or found these types of grave-looking mounds in the forest, let me know. Have a good day.
have a good day.
Thanks.
Thanks. Thank
Over
you.
20 years experience with research and investigation. If 20 years of research gives you a photo of the ground, like,
I don't know if this is what you guys see also, but if you scroll a little bit past that description of Thomas Markham, does it say this post sponsored in part by Bigfoot Steals Dog Witness Interview?
Yes, it does.
yes.
I'm clicking it. It's a YouTube video. It brings you to the Crypto Watch YouTube channel, and it's called
Whoa!
Bigfoot Steals Dog Witness Interview.
And it's got some metal music.
Do not
And-
download or re-upload our videos, bro. It starts with hot dogs. The best part is it starts with the hot dogs. That's pretty cool.
The opinion about how dogs and Bigfoot interact varies to some degree. This report has never been told until now.
Dude, the audio is terrible. Oh, yo, this is rough.
Here's the thing. Not everyone is like rolling in that like sweet audio money. But
Sure,
with that
sure.
said, I don't have no problem with them, the videos they're making. But let me tell you, you can't make a whole article and then post two photos, and the photos straight up are just the ground. It's a photo of leaves on the ground, and it's just the ground. There's nothing there.
And whatever
It's not
mound
even-
he's
it's not
seeing, I
even like-
think it's just the roots.
You just
Keep
got to
talking about
open.
like fresh graves. Everyone who has like fresh graves.
If this man tried to take a shovel to this, he would immediately just hit roots.
Because
He
you can
wouldn't even get
literally
to
see
dig.
them. You can
Yes.
see the roots.
20 years of research.
Bigfoot turned to trees.
Oh, that's what
That's
happens.
why we never see their dead bodies, because they become trees.
The bodies become trees, and it makes so much more sense now.
The circle of life.
They're like,
yeah.
Incredible. Amazing.
so that's what happens when Bigfoot die. Big feet. That's what happens when big feet die.
This is it. This is what happens when the big feet
When
die
the
and
big
pass
feet, when
away
the
and
big feet
become
die.
nothing more than a footnote.
Patreon.com/Chilluminati pod / what happens when the big feet die.
No.
Thank you guys so much for this minisode and for the support on Patreon. We'll see you next week with another one. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you to Canva for sponsoring this episode. And creating visual content, surprisingly, is an essential part of what we do here at the podcast. But the creative process is not always easy, and it's almost always time-consuming. Having to make sure you got the right programs, taking the hours to layer things properly, and let's be honest, I'm not even all that good at that design stuff. But ever since I got Canva for Teams, it's been super easy to collaborate in a design with my team, which makes the whole process so much more creative and fun. Canva for Teams is a design platform that makes it easy for anyone to create stunning content in any format, from social media posts to videos, presentations, websites, you name it. The endless templates and premium fonts, photos, graphics, and videos add personality and edge to my team's content as well, which makes the whole process so much quicker. With features designed for brand consistency, Canva for Teams makes it easy to maintain your aesthetic and add your logos, fonts, and colors to anything you create, making sure it still has that personal touch that people need nowadays. Canva for Teams even takes presentations to the next level with remote control. We never have to say next slide please anymore because my team can virtually connect and navigate slides from any device remotely or in person. It's just made the whole process so much more efficient and so much quicker for us, which opens us more time to go do more things that we love. Collaborate with Canva for Teams. Right now, you can get a free 45-day extended trial when you go to canva.me/chill. That's canva.me/chill for a free 45-day extended trial. Canva.me/chill.
Hello, my little Chilluminats.
Whoa, it was so low, you had to move the microphone. You were like,
Sorry.
hello, my little Chilluminati.
Welcome to the Minisode 74. As I said in the beginning, the end of the main episode, on this past week, a very, very famous case turned 50.
Are you talking about Stephen King's 11/22/63?
I am not. I am talking about the DB Cooper skyjacking.
Oh shit! Okay,
is officially 50 years old now. Everybody, we've talked about it. We haven't done an episode on it, have we?
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do a DB Cooper episode eventually. Don't worry about it. I got
eventually. Okay, that's still.
I have a couple guest episodes that I'm working on right now, slowly but surely, when I have time to get these guests in that I want to have. But
yeah,
DB Cooper's on the list.
Yeah, DB Cooper, if you don't know, it's a pretty famous case at this point, but basically the man hijacked a flight with $200,000 in cash and 4 parachutes. Once in the air, he slipped a flight attendant a note stating that he had a bomb, and after showing her what appeared to be explosives, informed her that he wanted the $200K and 4 parachutes. What followed next was a daring caper that has continued to baffle researchers for decades. The hijacked flight subsequently landed at a nearby airport where the other passengers, unaware of the drama unfolding around them, were evacuated, and the money was delivered to the airliner by authorities looking to resolve the matter as peacefully as possible. The plane then took off once again en route to Mexico City, per the man's instructions, with only him and the crew remaining aboard. Shortly thereafter, he walked to the back of the aircraft and opened a staircase that descended from the rear of the plane. He grabbed up $200K, and strapping on a parachute that had been provided by the police, he jumped from the plane and vanished into history. The FBI immediately launched an exhaustive investigation into the case and set out searching for the skyjacker, who had actually gone by the name Dan Cooper when he boarded the plane. However, the man was soon dubbed DB Cooper due to an error in an initial media report. Yeah, there's a typo. The wild nature of the crime, specifically the skyjacker bailing from the plane in midair, generated headlines around the world. However, the widespread attention and the best efforts by authorities proved fruitless when it came to determining the identity of the mysterious man. The only physical evidence we have is a few dollar of the 20s that made it out there,
some
right?
kid found like a bunch of the money in the water in the forest, and they dug it out and they were like, oh shit, like
that was 5 years after the case. The boys stumbled upon a bundle of cash from the skyjacking on a remote beach near Vancouver, Washington.
I heard they let him keep the money, but I don't remember. I watched a couple things on DB Cooper recently because they came out with like a doc where somebody was like, my dad was DB Cooper. There's a couple good cases for who DB Cooper is, but I will talk about that on an episode that I do about it later. But I will say about DB Cooper that one of my favorite things that has to do with him was that at one point in time, I don't know if you know this about The Sopranos, but Sopranos is famous for its like very abrupt ending, where they're eating at a place, and then there's this guy who's maybe going to kill Tony, and it just goes black. It just cuts to black, and it's very like artsy, and you're supposed to be thinking like, wow, like maybe it doesn't matter whether he lives or dies because forever they're going to be in this cycle of maybe dying from this violence, right? Yeah. And so the guy who did Sopranos, Matthew Weiner, went on to do Mad Men, and there was like a lot of like buzz in that time around the end of Mad Men that Don Draper was actually going to be DB Cooper by the end of the show.
Weird,
because he worked at Sterling Cooper. His name is Don, but his name isn't really Don. There was like a promo image of him wearing glasses, and there was like an alternate him that was like walking away. It ended up not being the case. It ended up not being that like crazy ending, but like he did like leave his work and like go on the road and like do all this crazy like midlife crisis type shit. And so people were like, is he gonna fucking jump out of a plane at the end of this?
That would have been, I think that would have been a cool way to go.
He's a folk hero, DB Cooper.
He really is in a lot of ways.
People think he's awesome. Like any interview you see from somebody who like has to do with DB Cooper, or like people who are on the plane are like, what a cool guy. Can't believe he got away. And he inspired like a bunch of copycats who like also got away with jumping out of planes.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Did you ever hear the guy who, oh God, he was on a plane. I think he got caught. The guy who was like running, like making millions off the stock market. And he told when he finally caught that he was a time traveler and they fucking lost him. Like they couldn't find him after that.
That's not real.
Yeah, I remember reading about that years ago. I'm gonna see if I can find it really quickly by dirty Googling.
No way. In a million, there's no way. I refuse to believe this. That a dude was like, this is like some John Titor stuff. This is not real.
Yeah, let's see. I think this is, no, I can't find it right. I'll have to look it up because I'm sure it is fake. I'm sure it's fake, but this reminded me of something similar to that. The last article I'm bringing to the table though isn't paranormal, boys. This is just fun. Out in New Zealand, a woman was held hostage by an aggressive possum. And I just want to tell the story because it's very cute and funny.
All right, let's hear it.
The very weird incident reportedly occurred on Sunday night in the city of Dunedin. Much of this to the surprise of the cops on duty at the Dunedin, Dunedin.
From Lord of the Rings?
It's New Zealand, yes. This is in New Zealand.
In caverns deep in New Zealand.
Much to the surprise of the cops. Oh my God. All right, yes.
The movie takes place in New Zealand.
That
I have seen Lord of the
New
Rings.
Zealand. We're just keep this going. We'll never let you finish this story.
His books in New Zealand. Okay.
I saw the movies. I saw Lord of the Rings. I've seen it. I haven't seen the Hobbit trilogy though.
You're doing all right. You're ahead of the game, really.
Here's what I feel like.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to buy those on 4K and we're going to watch all three of them together. The Hobbits.
Oh, all right.
Get ready. We're all going to wear barrels.
All right. Excellent. Much to the surprise of the cops on duty at the time, a frightened resident phoned them and said that she was stuck inside her house due to a pugnacious possum.
Ooh.
Recounting the call, an official with the department explained that when she would exit her house and attempt to reach her car, the possum would charge at her and she would flee back inside. Cops were dispatched and to deal with it, and with the report quickly realized that the call was not a joke, as upon their arrival, they were greeted by a possum that emerged from the shadows and brazenly began climbing up the leg of one of the officers.
Oh my God.
Fortunately, the possum was more friendly than ferocious, and the police captured the critter to prevent further citizen harassment.
Hugs is what all right.
Yep. And they relocated it to a forested area nearby. Given the animal's fearless nature, it is suspected that the possum was either an escaped pet or perhaps a juvenile that had not yet learned that it is best to avoid humans. There you go. A little aggressive, a cute possum just looking for some food and some hugs. Some woman is desperately afraid it's going to murder her.
I love that.
You could punt a possum if it attacked you. Possums are so harmless.
Heartwarming.
They're so dumb.
Heartwarming.
Yeah. All right, boys, you may take it away.
Well, I have an article from the Daily Beast that is about a special that is airing this week on Discovery Plus. Maybe you saw it. It's called Shock Docs, Demon in the White House.
Oh.
And one of the quotes from it is, how do we draw the line of what's real and what's not, which is great.
Well, right
something
here.
called science.
Here's the line right here.
Apparently in 1853, Franklin Pierce was the president. That's not the part that's in contention. He was the president in 1853. He was the 14th president. Apparently a few weeks after he was voted into the White House, he lost a son, Benny Pierce, during a train derailment. And Franklin Pierce's wife was like a Calvinist, and she was like totally devastated by it. And she like started writing letters to her dead son. And she hired these people called the Fox sisters, who maybe you've heard of if you are like into like spiritualism of the early 19th century and beyond. They did seances. They're one of those people that Houdini was trying to smack in the booty. But pretty soon, people were saying, you know, Jane Pierce was talking to her dead son in the White House via seance. And apparently, in the documentary, they show like recreations of it, and like, you know, the thing like knocking yes and no, like one knock for yes, one knock for no, whatever. And then apparently the plot is that a tall red-eyed demon was actually masquerading as Benny Pierce and was like getting welcomed into the White House under the guise of Jane Pierce's son. But that's not where it ends, because they also hired a priest to exorcise the White House, allegedly. That is not confirmed. And a lot of it is like hearsay and like based on things that could conceivably have happened. But they go as far as to say that the demon influenced Franklin Pierce to signing the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which I don't know if you remember this from history, but it was the source of Bleeding Kansas, which was like a big like pre-Civil War sort of like slavery dispute. And then they go on to talk about Abraham Lincoln, who also lost his 11-year-old son while he was in the White House, and Mary Todd Lincoln, who we all know from her fun name, also hired a medium to talk to her son. And that medium was a guy named Charles Colchester, who is famous because he predicted that Lincoln was going to get assassinated or killed before it happened. But also, it turned out that guy was in cahoots, or at least buddies, with John Wilkes Booth, the failed actor. Not failed, just inferior to his much better brother. So who knows? This article in the Daily Beast, to its credit, is like super hating on this documentary and being like, it's very stupid and that it's crazy. But apparently everything from Civil War to the assassination of JFK to Vietnam to literally 9/11 are mentioned in this as things that maybe were caused by this demon in this White House.
The demon was like, now 9/11.
Yeah, the demon is like working for Russia or something. I don't know, but basically, yeah, like that's the deal with the thing. It's available. It's called Shock Docs: Demon in the White House. It's on Paramount Plus or whatever it's called. So go ahead and check it out if you want to watch it, but do so with a grain of salt because apparently it's pretty wackadoodoo crazy town. Though I love the idea of that being what's going on in the White House.
A demon in the White House.
Whenever you mention a demon,
I just love the idea of the president's wife like having a seance and for her dead son and inviting a demon into the White House that's like pretending to be her son.
Dude, I am so sure, and I'd love to be a fly on the wall over the centuries, that so many weird fucking rituals and shit has happened in the White House over the years.
No doubt. Have you been in the White House?
No.
It's weird that I've been in the White House to think about that. Like as just a normal American citizen, I've walked in that building. Isn't that strange?
Yeah, I was like I'm assuming there's like a visitor center that you're allowed into or something.
You can walk through a large portions of the White House, or at least you could in like the early 2000s. Sure. Which, I mean, you'd think the security would be higher then than it is now because it was like right after 9/11. But like, I don't know, like it was pretty wild to go in there. I will never forget it though, because my dad went to a real Secret Service guy and was like, where should I put these guns? And he was pointing at his arms because he was like, they're registered as lethal weapons. And I was like,
oh God, please tell me the Secret Service agent was cool about it.
They were cool. But like, I was just like, my dad is that guy. He's the guy the jokes were named after.
I'm jealous. That's great. All right, Jesse, what you got, boy?
Well, let me take you on a wild trip. Here we go.
Okay.
In 2013, Dario del Buffalo, an Italian expert on ancient marble and stone, was signing copies of his book, which documents ancient modern art pieces that utilize sort of a reddish purple stone, which the book is named after. It's porphyry.
Got it.
Porphyry.
Yeah, that stuff that smells really good. That's like plants and wood bits. That's
right.
Yeah, got it.
And it included a photo of a long lost Italian mosaic. And while he's sitting there signing copies, he says there was this lady and a young man with a strange hat that came to the table. And the young man told the older woman, "Oh, what a beautiful book, Helen. Isn't that your mosaic?" And she was like, "Oh my, that is my mosaic." And this guy was like, "What?" So Del Buffalo spent his entire rest of his trip trying to hunt down these people, right? He's like, I got to find this young man.
Okay.
Who, when he found him, He confirmed that the woman that was with him was New York City art dealer and gallery owner Helen Fiorati and her husband, who had bought the mosaic in Italy from a family in the 1960s and turned it into a coffee table. Apparently, according to the scholar guy, apparently dozens of centuries earlier, the mosaic had been part of an inlaid floor on one of the party ships commissioned by Caligula prior to his assassination.
Yes.
Dude, I love that Caligula had a party ship. Of course he did.
Caligula is my favorite historical joke cameo. I hope, has Bill and Ted ever met Caligula?
I hope not.
That should happen.
During his 4-year reign, Cooper recounts. So this is when he's talking to Anderson Cooper, which is interesting. But Cooper is talking about during the 4-year reign of Caligula, this dude was brutal and cruel and probably deranged in some way. And, he had many statues and artifacts and all these different things. But because of who he was, many of them were purposefully destroyed after his death. And so this included the sinking of his yachts that he had constructed on Lake Nemi, which is a small lake southeast of Rome. And in the 1930s, Benito Mussolini had the lake drained so that all the artifacts in it could be dug up and used as sort of one kind of cultural pride, but also sell the hell out of those damn things. And apparently, when the Nazis were fleeing from Italy in 1944, they kind of burnt everything they could find to the ground and destroyed many archaeological and cultural treasures. Well, this thing is lacking fire damage, so it's suggested by Del Buffalo that perhaps it was smuggled out of the museum prior to the fires and was put in a private collection and then bought in the 60s by these people. And so what ended up happening is because these people went to, talk about this guy's book and see this guy about his book, and they saw the thing in the book, and then this guy was like, oh my God, you have a piece of Caligula's floor. The Italian government was like, that is ours, give it back. And so they took it back. And the guy felt so bad. He's like, look, I will make you a replica that you will not be able to tell the difference if you just be chill. So,
oh my God.
This is from this past weekend. And he's like, look, if you just accept my fake version of it, but I guess this woman for 50 years has had a piece of Caligula's floor in her home. And
that's nuts.
The crazy thing is that most people, this is why Antiques Roadshow is fascinating. Most people are completely unaware of the fact they have something incredibly valuable that is worthless to them, but to the art world is worth a fortune. Because my grandmother gave me this and it does. Oh yeah. So this is another one of those examples. Or this lady knew she had a Caligula floor and was like, I don't know what you mean.
I want a Caligula floor.
Humble brag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love a piece of Caligula's floor. Party ship Caligula floor, dude. That's very Caligula.
If there was a Kubrick movie about my apartment, instead of a hardwood floor, it would have a Caligula floor.
Right.
Yeah. And it would be telling about the conspiracy of how we didn't actually go to space and the Earth is actually flat.
I'm
trying to Kubrick it up. Oh. Well, thank you, boys, for wonderful stuff. And thank you, everybody, for supporting us and listening to our Minisode. We'll be back next week with Minisode 75, only 25 away from 100 Minisodes, which is fucking crazy. We're getting there. We're getting
only
up there in the numbers.
96 away from episode, or 94 away from episode 169.
Is that going to be the next sexiest episode? Every time we hit a 69 number on we should do something sexy related?
I think so. I mean,
That's
what else is there? 420?
Yeah, it's 420.
That's far.
Yeah, it's a long way away. Yeah, 100. Yeah, 169. That'll be the next one. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week. We appreciate you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Anyway, me and my wife were sitting outside indulging on our porch one night, enjoying ourselves. I needed to go to the bathroom, so I stepped back inside, and after a few moments, I hear my wife go, "Holy shit, get out here." So I quickly dash back outside, and she's looking up at the sky in awe. I look up too, and there's a perfect line of dozen lights traveling across the sky.